Hey, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Hopefully, there's no echo. Been dealing with some echo recently. Hopefully, it has gone away. But we're hanging out before the show. These are the Dungeon Scrawlers, obviously. And then there's, me. I guess also one of the Dungeon Scrawlers. Anyway, special shout out to...
You can't get out of this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Special shout out to one of our excellent audience members, Deckard Kane, who has subscribed to us at tier 2, which is amazing. Thanks.
Thank you.
We very much appreciate all of the subscriptions, and that one is particularly cool. Thanks.
Does tier 2 get you extra no ads? I don't know how that would work.
I hope so.
I wish.
In
fact, there's an ad in progress right now.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. Amazing.
So maybe only our subscribers are listening to us talk right now.
So you made a good choice subscribing to our channel so that you don't have to see all these ads. So well done. Well done, everybody. Well done.
Is there an ad running right now?
It was. Yeah. It was running.
Oh, okay. Hello. Are we on, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we are.
Okay. Hi, people. Yeah.
So, how's everybody doing this week?
Doing okay.
You're on mute, Aaron.
Aaron's probably
muted.
Eating.
Yeah. No, I muted. I was saying something, but I muted because I don't want to break your brain with my fork.
Thank you.
I and Seldering asked if I was in a new location. Sort of. This is where I was streaming from before. That's actually my husband's desk. This is my desk, but this side of our shed didn't have an Ethernet connection, and the wireless is terrible out here. Except now there is an Ethernet connection over here because he wanted his desk back, and there's a Wi-Fi. What's the thing? A Wi-Fi booster.
Or mesh network?
Yeah, there's another mesh network thingy out here. I don't know. I don't do that part. That's fine. I stick my hand in the garbage disposal, which I think is pretty valuable. So insofar as partner tasks go.
Yeah.
So now I can sit at my desk.
I know mesh network because that's what my parents needed to have when I was living with them. Their internet not suck in my room so that they couldn't even stream something on TV without my total internet meltdown.
I'm glad they got a fix. Okay, I'm gonna mute now and eat some more lasagna.
So right now I'm basically, I don't know if you all noticed, but there is a little slideshow over there now in the lower left. That's just going to be running a bunch of products from Phoenix Dice and Norse Foundry and Idle Champions. Basically, we're just experimenting with a little image window, and I am just loading up all the images right now into the window, and there's a lot. There are just so many cool things in these people's catalogs. Norse Foundry especially works with just all kinds of really awesome materials like glass. I was just looking at all their glass pictures and I was like, I have to choose one or two out of 20 amazing photos. Which ones are the best representations? I don't know. Also, I've never rolled glass dice. Is it? I mean, I feel like I'd be nervous to get glass dice.
That would be incredibly. You definitely need a dice tray to catch them in.
Yeah.
Which they also sell.
Yeah.
But I feel like, it would be terrified.
If they're solid, I feel like they wouldn't crack or anything. Because
I'm not worried about the dice. I'm worried about the surface that I'm rolling it on.
That too.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like the ones that have particularly pointy edges, if you drop it just right, could you crack it? Because that's the thing, right? Glass can be fine until you hit the right angle and then ba-cha! I don't know.
Well,
they have other
based on flint napping
that's the sound
principles.
It makes.
Most of them, when you have a cobble that's round, it's really hard to nap it. Speaking for obsidian, which is basically glass-like, it's really hard to get the correct angle to get the force to go in, because otherwise the force sort of goes out and sort of dissipates and doesn't get off a piece. But I don't know, a D4 or something like that. That seems like if you hit those, you could get the angle that might
we'll have to experiment.
Yeah, we'll have
That's
to
the only way
get
to be
glass
sure.
dice.
We'll just have to get glass dice and throw them.
Just throw them on
I
different
know.
surfaces.
The sort of heart-stopping experience of so we have some landscape company come do like clean up in our yard, and they hit a little rock with the weed whacker with string trimmer, apparently is what you say up here.
Oof.
And it flung out and it hit the door that my son was standing in front of, that's a glass pane, and it just shattered.
Oof.
So what's interesting though is, so we have one, fortunately it was a 2 pane, so it shattered, but it didn't fall on him or anything because the inner pane was fine. And it was terrifying because I was just standing there and all of a sudden it was like crash. So okay, we got a new one, but now it's a double door sets, and we're like, okay, we want them to match. And oh no, actually it was before that. We took out the broken one because it was broken. I think we gave up on the matching idea so it was broken on the outside, and we're like, okay, let's take this, let's put it out, and then it's going to be easier to throw away the other one if we break it too. This thing was so hard to break. It was impossible. We were like throwing rocks at it. We were hitting it with a hammer, and it would not shatter because it was like that rock must have hit the one weak point. I think eventually we set it on top of another rock, and then we dropped a rock on it, and that shattered it. And it was safety glass, right, that stuck together and then started to break apart. So it wasn't like really, really, really dangerous what we were doing, just a little dangerous. But it was very wild to me that first one, like it just hit exactly right and completely came apart. Like you could see where it was, and we couldn't even figure out where the rock went. Like it wasn't like, oh, well, it was this huge rock. It was just they were using the string trimmer. So it had to be something light enough for the string trimmer to fling. And then the second one, like, yeah, literally hit it with a hammer, didn't do anything.
So we
That's
have
my
some
story.
viewers. So we have some viewers who want to share some like glass insights also. So Rumpus Imperator says that solid glass is pretty durable. It would be like basically like a marble. The dice would be like a marble. Original Angston says solid glass ball bounces higher than a rubber ball. So I feel like we definitely need to try this at some point because I want to see that.
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters, that's right.
Mythbusters. Yep.
Man, I miss Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Adam Savage has a YouTube channel, and he was working with the like behind the scenes like set stuff for Ghostbusters Afterlife, or maybe he wasn't working on it, but like somebody he knew was working on it. Anyway, they had some cool behind the scenes videos. I got into it because I gather I haven't seen it. Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're in this really old farmhouse. And so they were talking to the set manager, whatever words are escaping me. And they built this house and then aged it. And so they built
neat.
it
Wow.
on location, and it legit looks like an old ass house.
Wow.
And then they built it, most of it in the soundstage, because they needed it there to have the like sort of weather effects that they were going to do. And then they had this, the coolest part for me was that apparently they were, I think, filming up by like Calgary. So they found this location, it was just a plain field. And so then they put built the house on it, and then they found this old barn. And it's one of those sort of like barns you'll see by the side of the road if you live in a agricultural area that's probably about 100 years old, where the spine of the roof has broken. And so it's all sort of like falling down in the middle. And apparently they bought it and then moved it. And so like the idea of buying this broken barn, but then moving it and keeping the brokenness.
Was it a good movie?
Has anybody seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Not I.
Well, then
Nope.
there's the mystery. There's another thing we have to do. Throw glass dice at various surfaces and go see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
We could combine them, I think.
We could.
We
We
might get
also
kicked out
still
of the
need to
theater.
play that
Sounds like a
Dungeon
night from my
Scrawlers game
youth,
at some
yeah.
point.
We do.
Did anyone see the King's Man?
Yeah.
I never heard anybody call it that.
That's what it's called.
Oh,
No,
really?
that's-
Not Kingsman?
That literally is the next movie.
Yeah. The
Oh my
King's
God.
Man.
Is it
Just
not a
one.
prequel? Is it not a prequel
Yeah,
of the
it's a
Kingsman?
prequel. Yeah. We've seen the King's Men, but there is now the King's
Oh my
Man.
God. I can't handle it.
Why not?
Oh,
Why?
no.
King's Man, the quest for more money. Yeah.
Mm. I didn't see great. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm guessing it's not so great. I did see the Spider-Man movie. I enjoyed that. I wasn't blown away, but I enjoyed it. It was decent.
For whatever reason, I have not seen the Spider-Man movie yet. Well, I mean, I can tell you the reason. The reason is because, we have a pandemic and it's harder to justify going to the theater right now.
I tell you, the guy who plays the Goblin, what is that guy? He just hosted Saturday Night Live. He's just
Willem
got
Dafoe?
this craggy face.
Yeah,
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe.
That's Willem Dafoe with
Yeah.
the gappy teeth and it's like Mick Jagger with gappy teeth.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy.
Will,
He-
you're watching
describing
this.
Willem Dafoe, literally.
Okay.
I really want to
has-
know who you thought Willem Dafoe was.
Yeah.
I someone more gentle looking. This dude,
Gentle.
his face is
he
so
thought
amazing.
Steve Buscemi was Willem Dafoe. Maybe that's who he thought it was.
But that guy's face is amazing. It's like Steven Tyler. It's almost, I don't want to be mean, but it's ugly, but it's so ugly it's beautiful. It's extremely craggy and I just love that guy. I'm into that dude now. I gotta look up all his films. Actually, I still don't believe that's William Dafoe. I'm gonna look it up.
Steven's being a little thirsty there, buddy.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
It
Yeah,
is him. It is him.
I
God,
meant
that
to
guy's-
do the new Spider-Man, but I was because I'm behind. I haven't done any of the like latest ones, the like MCU tie-in ones, Spider-Mans.
Hmm.
So I was gonna like go back, but then that's like 3 or 4 movies now, and so I'm like, oh, I'll watch this one. No, I'll watch 4. No, I won't watch 4 movies. I'm gonna go watch The Block again. They have a scandal. The Australians in the chat. Apparently, this happened like last year sometime. But
What did? I don't-
so it's a Australian renovation reality show,
Oh.
cool.
and so they have so I'm watching the 2021 season. So I'm like say 6 months behind, and they're just getting to a point where one of the teams, it seems like they were like seriously cheating.
Oh, dang.
How do you
So
cheat?
well, so the renovation is they're each renovating a house, and so at the beginning of the week they'll have a week to do a room, and so at the beginning of the week the idea is they say, okay, master bathroom, and that means that nobody has time to like choose their faucets ahead of time or anything like that. They have to start on Monday morning with all the decisions.
Hmm.
And somebody snuck into the production office, and there was a big whiteboard that
Ah.
said like, this week master bathroom, this week master bedroom, etc. So it gave them a little. It's sort of like, how much value does it have to like know, a little bit ahead of time where you should put your energy, versus just actually you still have to do
Yeah,
the
sure.
renovation work.
Sure.
I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Nice.
It's great.
What was the music in this particular case?
So the premise of that one is it's been 25 years. They are still. So do you remember the original movies?
I remember the first one.
Yeah. So like they were supposed to like write the song that unites the whole world. So they got to be rock stars, but they never wrote a song that really united the whole world. And so now they're like in their 50s, still trying to write the song and getting less and less popular. But they have two. They both each have a daughter, who they're very similar. And they basically they find out that not only do they need to do this to unite the world, if they don't, reality is going to shatter.
Nice.
So they have basically they're basically told, like, by the end of the movie you have to have written this song. They're like, you have 77 minutes. It's very specific. So they decide to like try and go forward in time to when they've written the song, while their daughters decide to help them.
Oh, that's totally
a different way.
That's cheating.
Well,
I want to go in
I
head in
won't
time.
spoil it. I won't spoil it, but you're not wrong. Like, it doesn't work like they think it's gonna work.
Because I would love to go ahead in time to the time when I've finished my third book and just like grab it and come home.
Be so much easier. But it was nice. It had good feels, and it was amusing. It was interesting to watch Keanu Reeves kind of embody that character, because he's like moving in the same way, but his like, you know, he's grown now. His body's different, and so it feels more put on and less like he's just like that. But I also really love the two actresses that played the daughters, because they really got like the right vibe to sort of be the sort of next generation of these characters.
Yeah.
I did accidentally see the latest Matrix.
Accidentally?
It was an accident. It was an accident. We watched A River Runs Through It because I'd never seen that. And then the TV just kind of, the next thing that happened was The Matrix.
I was watching my PBS, of course, which is the only thing I never watch, and it somehow switched over to this crazy movie.
I was really delighted to see that even Keanu Reeves ages.
Yeah.
You know,
gradually.
he's got great hair and stuff, but he can't move his neck. It's like, this is how he turns.
Oh, I wonder if that was why it was sort of reading strange to me.
Maybe. I
If
mean,
he's
the
like,
dude,
if he's got like neck mobility issues, that would do it.
just imagine, the guy's been a martial artist for a long time. I wonder if there's a little, like, I don't know, damage.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I call it the Batman, just ever since the Michael Keaton Batman. He couldn't like turn in that suit, so he was always like.
Is that what it was? The new Batman trailer looks pretty cool. I like it. Now I can't even remember what was in it, but I remember liking it.
It's got a beat. I can dance to it.
Who's the bad guy in it? The Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It looked good.
I like how they have managed to, like, in a lot of modern superhero movies, take like ridiculous villains and yet and make them actually like menacing and like not ridiculous sometimes.
I was gonna say there is a line between different Batman villains, like the Joker, Bane, Two-Face, the Penguin, the Riddler. Right?
I'm curious what Gritty Riddler looks like.
You know, I was expecting a dude in a green onesie, but I didn't see that. So I don't.
It's not a gritty green onesie.
I think it was just a dude in a cardigan.
Mm-hmm. The opposite of Jim Carrey, probably is what it is.
Cardigans are kind of scary. It's true.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers ruined it for everyone.
So we still having some echo issues? Sounds like maybe.
Oh yeah, but you know, I'm just trying to figure it out in the back end. Just
Alright.
carry on.
Technology.
So who else has started watching the Vox Machina show?
I was about to say, yeah, there was quite the discussion on the board about it.
I have not watched anything.
I watched
the last
that.
couple weeks.
Yeah, I effing watched the first effing episode, and it was pretty effing cool. But I don't know.
I feel like they don't have to obey the same PG-13 rule that we
they
do.
clearly effing
I'm
don't.
really resentful of. No, just kidding. But no, I appreciated it. I wasn't sure that I'd like it, but I do. So
I mean, we're not as starved for good fantasy content these days, but still, I mean, comparatively, how many real fantasy shows and stuff are there out there for us to consume? So I'm still in that state of it's got dragons, it's got magic. I'm there. I mean, you're kind of starved for choices still.
I don't think it's as good as Arcane was, but we'll still give it some time. Arcane is kind of the gold standard, so not that you should play the game, obviously. Just watch the show.
Yeah.
Is it worth watching it? Am I too loud?
You sound different.
You sound like a drive-through speaker.
Yeah.
Not that
I think
bad,
it's
but it
using a
does
different
sound
mic.
like it jumped.
It's trying different ports, and this should be correct.
Now you sound good.
Yes, it is definitely worth watching the show.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to know anything about the game. In fact, you probably shouldn't because, don't do that to yourself. But the show is great.
I think there was a wide consensus. It's definitely better than Foundation, at least. So I don't think anyone was like, "Yay, Foundation," but
thank you so much for the sub, Benegrowth. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think Wheel of Time fell right in the middle between the two.
Oh yeah, I need to pick that up. I was watching it with my parents, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll wait for them," and then we got.
I hate when that happens. When you're like, "This is an us show. We're watching it together," and then some of the people who are watching it with you drop off, and you're like, "But I want to keep watching it. When are you gonna want?" This is my feelings about What We Do in the Shadows. I love it, and I would like to keep watching it. And Kevin's like, "I gotta be in the mood."
You will not hold me hostage. I just watch the shows anyway. If it gets to that point, then I'll just binge them, and then I'll just try to appreciate it on a some more subtle level. Second watch over with whoever it is.
So I've been having
okay
this.
with it, though. Sorry, go ahead.
I've been having this strange conversation with people about the ending of the Wheel of Time, and I'm not going to spoil it or anything, for people who haven't seen it. But a lot of people are like, "Oh well, it's all wrapped up, it's all done." I'm like,
"Yeah, they did not do a
is
good
this
job
the
on that."
first fantasy series you have ever watched? Of course, it's not wrapped up. Of course, it's not all done. Of course, the world isn't saved. Relax.
Okay, so my story for that is that again, my parents, they were complaining about some fantasy trilogy, I forget which one, big cliffhangers, etc. And so Mom was doing in my day, when they wrote fantasy books, they finished them. Lord of the Rings. And I was like, "Mom, Lord of the Rings does not have an ending on book 1 or book 2, at all. It used to be one book. And so then they just chopped it into pieces." And she was like, "Well, I'm like, you are correct in various things, but not Lord of the Rings."
Yeah.
Not the best example.
Wheel of Time has 2,000 more books. Okay, just chill for a bit.
There's plenty of content.
Speaking of plenty of content, we have 5 minutes till we start, and we still got the recap to run. So, final thoughts, final things you want to say?
Rumpus Imperator asked, "Here's the question. If you go ahead and watch without your watch buddy, do you tell them?"
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of relationship you have. If you're married, definitely not.
See, here's the thing. With streaming, they're going to know. You watch the next episode, the little bar's under, you're already going to get caught. You might as well just say, "Listen, I needed to watch it now. This is the hint you get. So
That's why you have
can keep
separate
going.
profiles.
Yeah,
You have
separate profiles. Exactly.
Because
This is why-
otherwise, like
You're a
when you
joint
watch things,
profile
the
family.
algorithm will recommend things based on what you watch, right? So if you and your partner like
That's
some
fair.
very different things,
My profile is the everybody profile, weirdly.
Ah.
So, and then there's the
Yeah.
kids one, and then Kevin actually has his own for stuff so that he can find it faster. But mine is the family one that we watch everything on, mostly. So, any joint stuff, and that's only for Netflix actually. Hulu is just one. Disney Plus is just one.
Mhm.
I don't need to sort through who do I click on to find what. I just go to the search bar. That's
Yeah.
it. So maybe if you do keep a profile, you can lie to them about it. But if you share, don't fall into that trap.
I would say
With that, we gotta roll the recap. Okay, see you in a bit.
Well, I definitely don't feel bad about what happened at the end of book 2 anymore. So, the Irregulars were in this crypt. They'd been assaulted by undead beholders, and this voice had come at them from nowhere. But it hadn't quite been nowhere. The voice was coming from Caliph, and was suitably cagey about who it was, or what it necessarily wanted. But it did want to know why they were there, and who they were. And sort of hinted that their ability to leave would hinge on them, telling him what he wanted to know. Well, they gave him a bit and seemed intent on exploring the rest of the space they found themselves in, this strange crypt, I guess. Although they left Caliph behind, and then when they were searching through some of the rooms, they found a chamber with a bunch of treasure chests, which of course turned out to be mimics, because there's always mimics, aren't there? It wasn't what I would call an easy fight either. I mean, the Irregulars are good, but sometimes mimics can be pretty dang nasty, can't they? But in the end, they won, and when they went back to get Caliph so that they could try to get out of there, well, Caliph was gone. And once again, they ended up using some dodgy teleportation magic to try to get themselves out of trouble, and well, they didn't have much choice, did they? Because this place didn't seem to have any exits. At least not that they could find. And the only places left to go, well, Artemisia's familiar Mitzi definitely said do not go that way. So teleportation magic it was. The magic didn't take them out, I don't think. It took them someplace else, certainly. But the place it took them was someplace they'd never been before, and when they searched through the rooms that they found, they ended up in a lab where they met with Caliph again and a masked wizard who turned out to be the Dark Lord of the Zentarim, Manchun. And Manchun just wanted something simple. He wanted them to act as his agents to serve his interests in Westgate, though he did promise that it wouldn't impede their heroics. He also made mention that he wanted them to ruin some merchant queen in Westgate, and I think I know who that is, and you stay away from her. But regardless, this is why I don't feel bad anymore, because yes, he could have wiped the Irregulars away easily with a spell, and I get it. I was a bit under duress myself. We won't go into that. That's a whole nother story. But I think there's a difference between what I did and signing on for a year of service with Manchun, which is what at least 3 of them did. So yeah, they have agreed to serve Manchun for a year, and were given 3 non-detection amulets in the process as, I guess, a signing bonus? A mark of their service? Something like that. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. Manchun ultimately teleported them out, but certainly refused to answer some very pertinent questions. They're going to end up regretting this. They probably already do. I'm not going to hold it against them. At least, I'll try not to. Certainly, if anyone can understand, it's